Hey guys, as many of you know, I have been growing black beans all summer from dried black beans I bought at the grocery store. Now I wanted to show you my full and total harvest of what I grew for the year, but things have been a little bit crazy in terms of weather around here lately. In the past month, we've had a couple cyclones come through and lots of rain. So I wasn't able to do one big harvest. I've had to just kind of pick and go as I've been able to in between the rain, and that's because I didn't want to let those dried seed pods stay on the plant and get all moldy and rotted if more rain came down. But let's head right into it and see how that harvest went. So before the rain comes, I'm just out here harvesting some of the black beans. So I had harvested a couple handfuls already, and I was just out here going through them again today, and I was able to pull maybe 10, 12 plants and get all of the beans off of them. So for today, my little harvest is this here. So I'll just have to go through and I'll have to take all the shells off and save the beans for those. But as you can see, the beans are starting to die off, and there's patches where I had pulled some. The one thing I am noticing is that some of the beans, when they're growing, are all green like this, while other ones are growing and they have red in them. So now I think that's because I had been growing beans from two different stores, which if you look back in my original video about growing store-bought black beans, you'll see that from those two different stores, things got a little bit winded and windy here, but essentially there's two things that I wanted to share with you. The first is that I have planted a second set of black beans in one of my raised garden beds, and I'm hoping that there's enough time to get a harvest out of that second set. And the second thing is that I did notice that there are two different color bean pods that are growing from these, and I do think that it is because they are just coming from two different regions of the world. They are fully developing and looking exactly the same once they have fully developed. But back to the video. So we actually don't have too many left for us to harvest, but we are going to get these out of here so then we can start thinking about the winter garden. But yeah, let's get these harvested. Now these here are not fully dried out, but I'm just gonna get rid of all these plants anyways today. But this is how I have been picking them, where it's not fully dried, and these have more of like a damp texture to them, and they're a bit fuzzy still. Where if you compare the two side to side, you can actually see like this is obviously the one that's fully dried, and that's the one that is still working on drying. These will go straight into my glass jar, where these will go onto a paper towel to finish drying out for a few days. Technically you can leave the roots, you can cut these off and leave the roots in there. I'm not going to. I'm going to put these into the compost heap. I will, however, go through and weed this afterwards, because there are an awful lot of weeds in here that need sorting out. Alright guys, so we're back out here. I have our little bean harvest that we had left, and I'm just gonna get these all deshelled, and I'm gonna put them, I've decided I'm not gonna put any of them straight into the jar yet, but I have just this is like an old takeaway container that I'm just using, and I've put a paper towel in there, and I just let them kind of sit on the windowsill for a couple of days before I put them into my glass jar. So this is one that's quite dry here. I just kind of like at the top bit, I just stick my fingernail in there and it just peels open. I don't want to drop them everywhere, but it does. But it just peels open and it leaves the beans on the inside. And there's typically like 5 to 7 beans in each one of these, and I just drop them in my little plastic container here. Now others of these are not fully dried, so like this one here, it's not fully dry. You can actually even see, like when it feels fuzzy on the outside. When you actually crack it open, it feels a little bit damp, and so those so far they have stayed fine. Like I said, I dry them out. The beans look fine. I've just been drying them out and they're good to go. Oh, like this one here. Okay, so with the rain, they have been, so like this is a dry one here, but it has dried and then gotten wet since that. So when I crack that open, they're actually moldy on the inside. So these down here, I can't save those, they're just moldy. I might try and save these top 3 though.
There's something so nice about sitting and deshelling beans. You know the world is whizzing around you at 1,000,000 miles a minute, but you get to take a few minutes out of that craziness. And when you do, you hear the birds chirping, bees buzzing, even the old lady walking down the street singing. Or is that just on my street? Either way, you notice all the little things that we don't often have the time or awareness to hear when darting around and finishing our mountain of tasks. And in this quiet space of solitude, it also allows us to listen to our own voices. And I know it can be difficult sometimes to spend this time with ourselves and really listen to what we have to say, but it's so, so important. We need to decide our own morals and values, choose our own paths, and feel our own emotions. And if we have others around us constantly or don't take a break from the craziness, we can't experience those things and we end up losing ourselves. Honestly, these moments are some of my favorite. I'm quite introverted and am very comfortable with myself, by myself, and find that I need this time to recenter. So take that break. It doesn't have to be deshelling beans. Just find your own quiet moment.
What's right now is to deshell my beans. No one's here to tell me any different. So we eat black beans all the time here. Oftentimes instead of beef tacos, we will do black bean taco. Can't even remember the last time we did a beef taco. But yeah, and we do veggie burgers made out of black beans, all sorts. We like our bean options here. And I like brought these in, and you know, the kids and Allie saw me at the table doing this, and they were like, "What are they for?" I was like, "They're black beans. We eat black beans all the time." What do you mean? It's because they're not in a can. They were a bit confused as to like what they were. But we definitely eat them a lot. but it's funny and like fun to like introduce people to like new things. I mean, the fact that they didn't know that these are like the same, or you can be eaten the same as the ones that are in the can. Yeah, it's funny, but it's like so much fun to introduce people to like new things or new ideas or new ways of seeing things, eating things. It's new to me as well. I have to admit, it's new to me. Yeah. I know you have to like soak them and cook them first, but yeah, this is new to like have the dried beans, but it's like cool. I mean, a lot of people might not think it's cool. I think it's cool. Allie actually did tell me something about these beans the other day, or the red beans. He said, make sure you're not eating those beans if they're not cooked. And I was like, what are you talking about? Apparently, from what I saw, it's red beans. You can't eat straight off of the plant, which I didn't know that. And he was concerned that the black ones were the same. So I did a quick search. I didn't see that, but do any of you guys know, like, are the black beans bad to eat raw, or does it not matter with black beans? Yeah, let me know if you know, because I do not. I haven't eaten any like that, but yeah, it'll be good to know, just in case the kids ask and stuff. Tell them no, don't eat them. But does anyone know for certain if that is true with black beans, or is it just the red beans? And does anyone know why that is? So yeah, so these are all done. So I will probably separate these into a couple different trays, just because I want them to be one layer thick, and put them on the windowsill for a few days until they dry out. But let's go inside and I'll show you what I have so far in my jar. All right, guys, so far what I have saved from my 60 to 70 black beans are this whole big jar full of them, and also this one here. So that's the smaller one, but oh, I'm so excited. Like, how good is that? I mean, I know it's not a ton, but this, with the ones that are out there, that's a pretty good amount of 60 or 70 plants. And I have that other bed that I've just started, so hopefully before it gets too cold, I will have 2 sets of them, so it will be double what I have now. But I think for just kind of like doing a bit of an experiment, I think this is a fantastic. You guys should definitely, I mean, I know I say this all the time, but give it a go. All you have to do is buy a few dried beans from the grocery store and stick them in a pot of soil and watch them grow, and you'll end up with more. So that is it for my bean harvest. I just wanted to show you guys what I was able to grow and harvest from that little experiment that I did. But I will catch you in the next one. See you guys.